Hey guys, welcome back to LDSReacts, where LDS reacts. Today we are reacting to a clip from Mormon Stories Podcast that is interesting. It's not super interesting, but it does kind of chaps the lips.
Oh no, not the chapped lips!
And I want to talk about it. So we're going to play it and then we're going to chat.
Awesome, so prepared to hear the message. And when we get to her house, she has done some Googling and she has learned that the apostles get a stipend, they get paid. I didn't know that. My whole life as a member, I didn't know that they got paid.
It's like $300,000 and they have like $1 million credit line that they can draw against for things like a cabin in Midway or Heber.
Probably a lot of members don't know that information.
Oh, none do.
So this investigator is telling me that she'd seen something about Peter F. Uchtdorf buying a house or something. And I was distraught because I had no answers for her. So I go to my mission president and he says, well, it's because they leave their whole life. And so he kind of I was like, okay, I guess I can see that they have to give up everything to be in the church. So I guess
But Boyd K. Packer was like an educator and he had at least 3 houses when he died, and they make a lot of money.
Another moment where I'm kind of like, something feels weird, but I was pacified. Oh, don't worry about it. There's reasons.
Now this was super interesting. And I did Google to see if I could find what he said about Boyd K. Packer having 3 homes when he passed away. And I couldn't find anything on it. The only thing that I found was actually a Reddit thread. That's the only thing that came up that referenced the 3 homes that he had. And I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying I couldn't find it, But I'm not a digger, so. But it was interesting. The thing that did pop up, one of the comments on there right here was Boyd K. Packer was an educator when he passed, proud owner of 3 nice homes. He said, I'm not going to provide the link to the proof. And that drives me crazy. They're like, find it yourself. I'm trying to find it. And, it's people just assume laziness, Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, but I'm trying to find it. And so he's making that reference, but you actually can't find that reference. And, one of the things up at the top of it, because they're digging on the apostles and how much they make. They're talking about this, but they say estimated because it's not actually public information. You could say whatever you want in an estimation. I mean, and just to make it look bad, and stir up controversy. And again, I'm not saying that it's incorrect. I'm just saying that we need to make sure we're looking at this in kind of a unbiased way, because people do put information up that they don't always fact check because they're hurt and they don't really care about whether it's factual or not. All that being said, they do get paid. And one of the things that people talk about a lot is how it is a lay ministry, and it is for everything when it comes to the wards themselves. And then you have the apostles and these people who are overseeing everything who do get paid. But a lot of these, well, not a lot, all of these men had careers before. So they did make money and invest money before they became apostles. So if somebody is a millionaire, that doesn't necessarily mean that they made all of their money from being an apostle. They just have it and are an apostle. But again, it could be. But what really chapped my lips with this video was the way that she said, I don't know if members know about this. And he said, no, none do. And so the way that they do this podcast is, I'm giving information to you guys because the only reason you are in this church is because you don't have all of the information, which is insulting, honestly, and not true. And if you don't know that stuff, and if you're like her, you didn't know that and it completely threw your faith, that information is there and available. Yes, their earnings aren't public information, but the fact that they earn is public information. So it's insulting. I do know that they get paid, and that wasn't a thing for me. But again, I came from Catholicism, and the priests they get their home paid for. They don't pay for their home. They don't pay for their expenses because they are giving their entire life to the church. How can you expect a man to earn a living while being a full-time priest? It's just not possible. And for example, I grew up in a very small town, and right across the road from the church, that's where the priest lived. And he was at the church every single day, giving his entire life to the church. So it kind of makes sense. You really can't do it without that. And with the apostles, they are also giving their entire life to the church after they get called. Whatever they are asked to do, they do. So you just can't expect somebody to not get paid when they are giving up their source of income, you know? And I see where they're coming from, because a lot of people do talk about how it is a lay ministry, but just the fact that you think nobody knows is just, it's, well, kind of ridiculous.
Ridiculous!
So just wanted to talk about that. And if there are people out there who are LDS and you didn't know that they get paid, they do. It's not this groundbreaking thing that people like John DeLynn think it is. It's really not. If that's what shakes your faith, then your faith was in man and not God. And you should probably deal with that first. And just a reminder to everybody, I think, if you're a part of the LDS church, if you're a part of a different church, remember where your faith should be going. You should not have faith in man. I saw this wonderful video, and it was actually Denzel Washington being interviewed with, I don't remember the other guy's name. He was being interviewed, and he said this quote that I don't have faith in man, I have faith in God, but I have hope in man. So, hope for the best in your fellow man, and expect the best too. Have those high expectations, that's fine, but do not put your faith in man. Put your faith in God. Put your faith in Jesus Christ. That is the head of the church. And when man does the man thing, where he messes up and he makes mistakes, don't let it shake your faith, because that's not where your faith is. Your faith is in your Heavenly Father. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to say today. If you enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.